Mackenzie fourth graders, Mr. Wayman here coming live again from my apartment. This would have been the week that you were going on outdoor ed. I'm so sad that that trip's not going to be able to happen. I know you guys are bummed out too, but we're going to do the best that we can. This is your introductory component to the orienteering class. One of my favorite things to do on that trip is to teach orienteering to the fourth graders. And some of you guys maybe have heard this word before, and others may have had an older brother or sister that's been on the trip and learned a little bit about what this class is all about. Some may have not. So what I want you to do before you begin this video and you get too comfortable is make sure that you have a pencil and a sheet of paper. So a pencil and something to write with. And if you don't, you can pause your video right now and grab those things. Now that we're back, the first thing that I want you to think about, and then you're going to write down, is what is orienteering? In other words, what does that word mean to you? Or does anything come to mind when you hear that word? Pause the video now and write that down. Hopefully you've come up with some sort of definition or some sort of words that are associated with the word orienteering. The actual definition of orienteering is a competitive sport in which participants find their way to various checkpoints across a country landscape with the aid of a map and a compass. And the winner of an event like that would be someone who would be able to find all of the checkpoints using their map and compass in the shortest amount of time. And what we would do normally is we would be on a field at Laredo Taft, and we would be completing a course where we would use a map and a compass to navigate and find our way around. Now, before we get too much into the use of a compass and how that corresponds with a map, I have a couple other questions for you to think about. So the first one is, what are some ways or things that you can use to help you find where to go? Pause the video and write down a list of things that can help you figure out where to go or how, in what direction to travel. Okay, now, some common answers, and I hope you have some thoughts already written down, so I'm not giving them all to you, but some of the first things I've heard recently have been, I would use my phone, or I would look up on Google Maps, or my GPS, or I would ask Alexa where to go, or anything really technology based. Those are great answers, and those are all true. And many times you would probably have access to those things. Now, I'm going to ask a follow-up question here, and this is a little bit more difficult, might require a little bit of thinking, but what would you do, or how would you navigate and find your way around if you didn't have access to technology? Pause for a minute and write those answers down. Now, if technology was stripped away from you, and maybe you wrote this down on your list, some things that you can use. Number one, there are directional features that can help you understand what direction you're facing and where to travel and how to go, just simply in nature. A common one would be the North Star and looking at up at the sky. Other things would be nature landmarks, or using trees or big bodies of water to determine which direction you're traveling. All things like that would exist. So this course is kind of fun because what you're doing is you're learning how to navigate and find your way around without the aid of any technology. However, what you will be given in order to complete this activity and learn more about this are two crucial things. One is a compass, and the other would have been a map. And what I want you to think about right now is what a compass looks like, what's on a compass, and how you might use it without receiving any instruction. Do you have any ideas or thoughts on how that would work? And if so, you can write and jot down some of those notes. If you have come this far, you're now going to hear from Miss Zara, who has a compass and is going to show you a step-by-step example of how to use it properly and face different coordinate directions that she will be giving you and walking you through. I hope you guys have fun with this. And once again, nothing can really replicate the real life experience, but we're going to try to do this the best that we can in a virtual way. I miss you guys. Enjoy this next part of the video. Be well. Good luck.
Hi guys, hi fourth graders. Okay, so Mr. Wayman did such a good job of showing you and explaining to you what orienteering is. And he did such a good job that I seriously felt like we were at Outdoor Ed. What we do is that exact same thing. We sit in a little classroom before we go out in the woods and we do the same activities. We ask what orienteering is. We ask you to brainstorm, all those things. So good job, Mr. Wayman, making it seem just like we're there. So now my part here is to teach you how to actually use this compass. So I'm going to start this next little clip, and that's going to show you how to use it. Okay, so here we have our compass, and this is going to be your direction of travel, this arrow. So every time you get your compass all set, you'll want to follow this arrow, okay? So this red little house, if we zoom in just a little bit to this red house, that is called the shed, okay? And then we call this red line Fred. So Fred needs to get in his shed. When Fred is in his shed, you follow the direction of travel, okay? So I'm going to say it again. Fred, the red guy, needs to get into his house in this shed, and then you follow the travel direction. So as you move the compass, you will see that it's going to move. So the next thing I'm going to show you is, see these two little lines? They're blue, and those, go towards that direction of travel arrow. So what you're going to do is, if someone were to say, okay, go 60 degrees, you actually have to move this dial. Look, it moves. So you're going to move the dial to 60. See how 60 is lined up with the arrow? So then what you would need to do is you're going to look at me. Okay, so now that my dial is at 60, what I'm going to do is I actually have to put the compass on and put it against my chest, okay? Yours might fall, since I'm taller, yours might fall like on your belly, whatever. And what you're gonna do is, so you're gonna face it forward, and my dial's set to 60. I need to move until Fred is in the shed. Oh, I know you can't see, but he's perfectly in the shed. So the red arrow's in the shed, and now I follow my direction of travel. And my arrow is pointing me that way. So I would be walking in that direction. That is 60 degrees. As you guys can see, Fred is in the shed, right? Now, I'm not gonna walk this way with my thumbs pointing, just because that arrow is pointing that way. Nope, I'm always following this blue direction of travel arrow. All right, guys, so I'm gonna show you one more direction. So if I gave you 280 degrees, I turned my dial, right? And I lined up 280 perfectly with the arrow direction of travel. So now what I need to do is get Fred in the shed, which he pretty much is. Yep, I got Fred in the shed there. And now my direction of travel is this way. So follow me as we find out what's in this direction. Oh, it's Cubby. All right, guys, so now you've learned how to use a compass, okay? So the main things, I'm just gonna repeat them one last time. I know it's a little repetitive, but if you get it in your mind, then when you're outside in your backyard, you'll just know what to do. So the first thing to do is set your dial. So Mr. Wayman and I made 5 coordinates. So one of them might be 25 degrees, one might be 315 degrees, whatever they are. First things first, set your dial. So set your dial, move it. Then you're gonna get Fred in the shed. So you're gonna, well, actually, I should rewind. The second thing you wanna do is put the compass actually on your body, okay? Because if you do one of these, like, it doesn't line up right. You actually have to touch your like chest area, stomach, okay? So then when it's on you, you get Fred in the shed and then follow the direction of travel arrow. Okay, so what we're gonna ask you to do is we're gonna ask you to go outside in your backyard and we're gonna ask you to tell us what's in 5 different coordinates. So you'll do all those steps and you're gonna either take a picture and upload it to the document, or you can just write in what you saw. For example, my swing set. If we gave you 40 degrees and you got all set up and walked that way, you look forward, 40 degrees, and it was your swing set, okay? So you'll tell us what you see. It might be, all different types of things. I can't wait to hear. So have so much fun with this. It's a great skill in life to have, and I know it's not, the same as being at Outdoor Ed, but truly this is exactly what we do at our station. So you really got a glimpse of it. So have fun and talk to you guys soon. Excited to see your documents. Adios.